Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for the week of March 24th. We're going to jump right in here. Just so you know, they're making a lot of noise. They're resurfacing a road behind my house, so I apologize for the noise, but can't do anything about it. So you start with this card. It says, nothing will come of this situation. You also have this card that says, nothing is set in stone, which is kind of funny. So we're going to have to look into what's going on here for you. You have the Eight of Swords, the Chariot, and the King of Wands. This is like needing to make a move. You know, Eight of Swords is looking at a situation or something that you want to do and only seeing one way of doing it when there are many ways that you could accomplish your goal. So with the Eight of Swords, we just have to stay open to all the different ways there are to accomplish something. And if we do that, then we will find a better answer or a better way to do things. So the Eight of Swords, you know, she is making a bigger deal out of something than she needs to. I'll show you in a second, but she's standing in a very shallow pool of water on the card itself, and it kind of represents like shallow emotions, like, but not like you are shallow, but as in, like, what she is worrying about is really like not that big of a deal. She's making, you know, in some ways she is making a much bigger deal of her situation than it actually is. You know, the solution for her is she could easily lean up against these swords, cut her hands free, then she could take her blindfold off and she could walk out of these swords. You know, there's no swords in front of her. So the Eight of Swords just says we have to stay open to all solutions in all areas of life, and then we will be unstuck, you know? The Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction, so I would, you know, I would also kind of like ask you, where are you holding yourself back right now, Capricorn? And I feel that's where you need to set yourself free with the Chariot. You know, the Chariot is charging towards a victory. Chariot says where there's a will, there's a way. You know, if you want something bad enough, you will get it, you know, by taking control. The Chariot is leaving the city behind him and he is moving in a new direction. So the Chariot really does say that we have to set ourselves apart to get something new in life. You know, a lot of times people try to make a change in their life, but they keep doing what they've been doing all along, and nothing changes, right? So the Chariot says that for us to change, we actually have to change. We have to do different things, take different actions, adopt different habits, and that is what will change our life. If we just keep doing what we've been doing, then we're just going to keep getting what we got. And the Chariot is about getting into alignment first. He has these stars up here, these moons right here, and it represents as above, so below. So these two sphinxes represent the mysteries of the universe, and they're not attached to the Chariot because he is in alignment. He is trusting that the universe is going to get him to where he wants to go because he is in alignment with what he wants. So you have to step into alignment with the Chariot, and that's what will lead to a victory. I'm pretty sure like many of your readings in the recent past have been talking about you setting yourself apart, Capricorn. So anything you can do to like highlight those parts of yourself that, you know, make you stand out or make you special is also probably going to help with you having some sort of victory. You have the King of Wands here. King of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want. We do see a little bit of love in this reading as well, right here, and we go up to the Ace of Wands. So if you're looking for love, definitely could be a King of Wands type person coming in for you. Could be a fire sign, doesn't have to be, could be any sign. You know, King of Wands is usually just a person who's like bold, assertive. You know, they can be entrepreneurial, hardworking, forward-thinking. They have good foresight. They can almost see the future. So if you're looking for love, definitely could be a person who's very bold. You know, also I think that you embracing this energy yourself would also be a good idea. And sorry, I was petting my dog and I have a dog hair stuck on my lip. But anyway, so the King of Wands kind of represents needing to be bold and assertive. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Moon. Yeah, the Moon is, there are no answers. I really feel, I've felt this for you for months, literally, Capricorn, that it's like if you're thinking that you're going to start something and you're going to know like how things are going to go, you're wrong. And this shouldn't scare you, although the Moon can be scary, right? But this should give you confidence. It's like no one who's done anything important has known like what the outcome is actually going to be. You know, it's like we never know. And usually things change over time. So the moon is just not really being able to see like where you're going on your journey, but no one ever can really until they get to the end. I think it was Steve Jobs said you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking back. And sometimes I feel that with the moon card. It's kind of like saying right now you're kind of like connecting dots whether you realize it or not, and you're not going to realize it until you're done anyway, so you might as well keep working. With the Chariot, you have the King of Wands. Definitely could be a person that you are moving towards or charging towards with that Chariot energy. This could also be the same for love. I always say that I think as humans, we have a bad habit of picking the same type of person. We all have a type of person, and then we get into trouble because we just pick the same type of person. So, things go the same way. The Chariot could say you're picking a different type of person in love, if you want love, and that is going to be the thing that helps you the most. But this could be a very bold, person who's making moves here with the Chariot. Could also be a person from a distance as well. I don't really see a ton of distance here, but the Chariot kind of represents travel. So, if you're traveling to be with a person, that makes sense. With the King of Wands, you have the Seven of Cups. Yes, I feel like you're too much daydreaming as well. I tell people to be very careful. I tell people to be careful of long-distance relationships during Neptune in Pisces, right? Neptune will be moving into Aries soon. And, sorry, I just dropped it. I'm a mess today, if you can't tell. But, the thing about Neptune in Pisces, it's moving into Aries, but it will retrograde back into Pisces. The fantasy is much more attractive than the reality. And so we can get into like these weird connections during Neptune and Pisces where it never really goes anywhere. But the thing that keeps the two people together is the fantasy, but it never really goes anywhere. So we have to be careful of that. And I would definitely say that. But the other side of that is, like, if you are fantasizing about a person, I would be careful of that as well. Because, the problem with fantasizing about a person is you build this picture up in your head of, like, who they are. And then they aren't. No one can live up to your crazy-ass fantasies, okay? It's like I once read a book that the #1 fantasy for women is, like, a playboy, billionaire, werewolf, pirate, something else, right? And it's a great book. A Billion Wicked Thoughts is what it's called, right? So a playboy, billionaire, pirate, vampire, werewolf doesn't exist. That doesn't exist in one person. So, the problem with fantasies, and this goes for the men out there too, by the way, but, what you are thinking is probably not true. So there's two solutions. #1 solution is, sure, if you want to fantasize and have fun with that, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Sometimes we have to escape from reality, and maybe that's what you're looking to do. So you just have to be honest with yourself. If that's what you want, that's what you want. The other thing is that we can just, date a person and find out who they really are and not get lost in the, the fantasy. Same thing, by the way, same thing goes for not business as well. Like, not love is what I wanted to say. Like, if you are fantasizing about something else, like starting a business, starting a project, starting a career, whatever, it's like, it would be better for you to do right now and actually find out the truth than it would be to just, come up with this story. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have the schedule card. It says, most forms of prosperity require time and effort to manifest. Do you have room in your schedule for abundance you are wanting to attract? You have this envision card. It says, do you know exactly what you want? And are you acting consistently? There's a key word right there. Envision, you have to visualize it, but you have to take action, right? And are you consistently... Are you acting consistently to achieve it? Maintain a clear vision of what you are calling forth, and you will be unstoppable. Yeah, a lot of your readings have been talking about this unstoppable energy, Capricorn, for quite a while. So I would embrace it, but again, have the vision, but the important part there is to act towards it, right? You have the Two of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the Lovers. Two of Cups, of course, can be a perfect match, different than your usual type. These two are meant to look very different, so that's why I went on that little rant about this person being different than your usual type. So definitely could be, and I think it's true for both people. Like, you both could be different than what you normally go for, which is probably good. Two of Cups usually starts with communication. We have the Staff of Hermes right here, and the Staff of Hermes is Mercury, which is communication. So you could be just starting communicating with a person. We have Venus retrograde, so I think it's perfectly fine to just start by talking and, kind of take your time and don't rush anything, because that will lead to the best outcome. There could also be, like, good news coming in for you as well, I'm getting. Next, you have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is like out with the old, in with the new. Ace of Wands is like a spark of hope, or, it kind of says like a new beginning that you desire to have in your life. So we do have a lot of desire here in this reading. King of Wands twice, this card, Two of Wands, a lot of you are being encouraged to move towards your desires or to create a life that you do desire, which I also think would be great with these cards. Ace of Wands is always just a spark. So like I said, there is definitely a need for action in this reading. If you have an idea or a plan or something you want to do in your life, then I would, don't let that spark fizzle out, right? Like make sure you're doing something to build that passionate new beginning. You have the Lovers. Sometimes I feel the Lovers is about making a choice in love. So you could finally be making a choice or decision in love at this time. Like you could be deciding to allow a person into your life or to start looking for a connection, which I think would be great based off the reading. The Lovers could also say you're just making a choice in general, and it's kind of interesting that you do have the Six of Swords, Eight of Cups here, and then the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles can be you picking one thing to make happen in your life, or picking a focus more or less. Even this way, Six of Swords, you're like choosing to move on from something and heading towards the star. The star is your North Star or your guiding light in life. With the Two of Cups, you have the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is ruminating. It is going round and round in your head, just kind of like overthinking something. And so there's definitely a need to not overthink something in this reading, or not think too much, right? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't think, but what I am saying is, again, if you're getting stuck in the fantasy, that could be just creating this round and round energy. The thing about the Nine of Swords is that this person could easily get out of this bed, and which is exactly what they need to do. They are stuck in a nightmare, and they have to end the nightmare. But to do that, they have to get out of the bed. So I would definitely encourage that. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Four of Wands. Here, there you go, marriage. So you definitely could be meeting some marriage material here. Again, yes, there's a Venus retrograde. People always remind me. Yes, I get it. But if you really want to follow all the retrograde rules, you would never do anything with your life and all the astrology rules in general. So rules are meant to be broken. It's also not always true that it's bad to date during a retrograde. A Venus retrograde can bring in a destined connection. So, again, if you're finding love, it could be very good. The Four of Wands is also a card of freedom. And going this way, Eight of Swords, Four of Wands to the Six of Swords, I definitely feel some of you could, it could be any area of your life that you are stuck in, and you could be doing things to unstuck yourself here. With the Four of Wands and the Eight of Swords, usually we have to let go of something that isn't working with the Eight of Swords, and we have to, obviously focus on what is working with the Ace of Pentacles and the Justice card. And if we do that, things will go great. Yes, with the Knight of Swords, with the Lovers, you have the Knight of Swords. Don't rush, right? As long as you don't rush a connection, you will be fine. Take your time, start it as communication, and just go from there, and you'll be fine. Knight of Swords is being too hasty or trying to rush something. So, as long as you don't rush, I feel like you'll be fine. But this could also say a person is rushing into your life. So, like I said, definitely could be a person. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this avoid drama card, and you have this love card. So, yes, definitely could be love, clearly. The avoid drama card, yeah, I mean, we still are in the Mercury retrograde shadow until May 2nd or 3rd. And so I would avoid drama at all costs, not even in love, just all areas of your life. I would avoid people who cause drama, who live lives of drama, who create too much drama, all that. I would avoid it at all costs. You have the Justice card, the Eight of Cups, and the Six of Swords. Justice is cause and effect. If you put energy into something, do you get a result? And if the answer is yes, great, keep going. If the answer is no, stop and do something else. The Justice card, like I said, is cause and effect. So what we put into something is what we get out of it, and it's really important with the Justice card that we pay attention to cause and effect, and we pay attention to what we're getting out of something and what we're getting back. And as long as we do that, then we will experience balance and justice. I also feel like the Justice card, again, if you are fantasizing about anything, not just love, right? But if you're dreaming of something and not taking action, Justice just says take a neutral perspective, no assumptions about what it is that you're about to create or work on. Just think about it, take a neutral perspective and just say to yourself, I'm going to get started on this opportunity right here, and I'm just going to see how it goes. And I think adopting that attitude would probably help you the most. You have the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups has come up for everyone. We just had that eclipse in Virgo, and it's the only card in the tarot that has an eclipse on it right here. So with the Eight of Cups, we have to walk away from things that no longer serve us. With lunar eclipses, like we just had in Virgo, we are being asked during lunar eclipses to let go of things that no longer serve us. So, I think this is just talking about the astrology that we've all been dealing with. The Eight of Cups can be a little bit scary, just like the moon, because he doesn't know if he's making the right choice or not. He's walking away from something, but, these 8 cups do provide him with something, but just not enough fulfillment for him to stay, right? And the Eight of Cups is about being brave enough to admit that something in your life isn't working and that it needs to change. And then, what do you know? You have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is about moving on to calmer shores. This woman and the child also don't know if the calmer shores are actually going to be better or not. They are taking the risk. They are bringing nothing with them but the clothing on their back when they are starting over. And so they are taking the risk for the hopes of a brighter future. And I feel a lot of you could be doing that right now. Like, you could be cutting things out for the hopes of something better. And, the good news is, usually with the Six of Swords, we are heading towards calmer shores. So I do feel there will be improvements. With the Justice card, you have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups can be regrets or sadness. Some of you actually could be getting justice in something that, caused regrets in your life. Again, the trick with the Five of Cups is to look on the bright side. He needs to turn around and see these 2 cups, because when he does, he also sees this bridge and this castle. And so he's focusing on what he doesn't want. He's not focusing on what he does want, and that's probably what you need to do right now, Capricorn. Instead of focusing on what you don't want, focus on what you do want, and that will lead to improvements. With the Eight of Cups, here you go. You have the Ten of Pentacles, which is amazing. A lot of you could be making moves towards your Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. Now, the Ten of Pentacles does not say you will have everything you want and desire in your life. It just says you can see what you want. And you have the Star here as well. And so the Star is about seeing the big picture. The thing with the Ten of Pentacles is that, we will work towards the Ten of Pentacles for the rest of our lives. It is building, leaving a legacy. But, half the battle is being able to see it. I feel like I said this to you in your mid-monthly reading as well. I'm pretty sure you have the Ten of Pentacles with me in that reading. So a lot of you seem to be focused on the big picture. There's something about that for you, Capricorn. It's like maybe you've been doing things that are not part of your big picture. And maybe you're realizing, like, this job I have does not add up to my Ten of Pentacles. So, you could be having a realization this week that you need to make a change so that you can more align with the Ten of Pentacles. And again, alignment is going to be very important for you with that Chariot. With the Six of Swords, you have the Eight of Wands. Alignment is going to be very important for you. All those 8 wands are pointing in one direction. If I could just get people to fix their direction, they would fix their lives, right? 8 of Wands says we cannot pull in 2 directions. We can only move in one direction. So this includes your thoughts, the words that you say to yourself, the things that you believe about yourself, the activities that you do during the day, the habits that you do. Everything has to point one way. Everything has to point towards the star. So if there are things that you want, I think you need to look at those things, and then you need to look at the things you say about those things, and you need to change it, right? Like, anytime I do a reading, I always get people that say, you said all these good things were going to happen and nothing happened. I'm like, well, first off, I never say any of that, because I make it very freaking clear in my readings that these are readings where you have to take action. You have to put the work in with the energy. Tarot can't do anything for you. Number 1, I make that very freaking clear. Number 2, change your words, because if you're saying that, nothing works for me, then nothing is going to work for you, Capricorn. And Eight of Wands is about getting your words to move in one direction, but also your actions and also your habits and everything else. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this card. It says, Koi fish, you are manifesting more love, prosperity, and wealth into your life. Amazing. You have this blessed idea. It says, allow your ideas to come to fruition, and they will bring many blessings. So there you go. The star. The star can be an idea that brings blessings. So you definitely could be increasing in all those things. Prosperity, wealth, and love. Is that what that said? Yes. So you could be improving all those areas of your life. You have the Ace of Pentacles. Really weird. Every single person has had the Ace of Pentacles this week. And again, I switched decks between readings, so it always surprises me when a card repeats like this. But it could just be a good opportunity week for people. It could be a good idea week for you here, Capricorn, where your ideas could actually lead to some sort of success. The Ace of Pentacles sometimes is like a gift from the universe as well. So, you could be getting, this blessed idea could be a gift from the universe. And I would plant that seed. The Ace of Pentacles, we have to plant it, then we have to nurture it, we have to take care of it, we have to raise it into existence, and if we do that, we will be successful. You have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands in the good stuff represents progress, so you could be making a lot of great progress this week, or you could be starting to make progress. Again, we still have that retrograde energy. I think that in a lot of ways that these two retrogrades aren't that bad because we've been dealing with so much retrograde energy since November. We've had nonstop retrogrades since that time, like no freaking break, that, maybe in some ways we are kind of like used to it, right? So maybe we should be breaking the retrograde rules because we've gotten used to what we need to do, right? And, I think you could be making a lot of progress right now. You have the Star. The Star can definitely be a blessed idea. So you have that blessed idea card. If you have any inspirations this week, I would get started, even if it's something new, right? Because you never know how helpful it could be, and you never know what could happen. It's like, sure, if you start something during a retrograde, could it not last through the retrograde? Sure. But it might be very helpful. Years ago, I started a business. I started it during a retrograde. It only lasted until like just after the retrograde, but I had to pay some bills at the time, and it made me money that allowed me to pay the bills. So this is why I always tell people, it's like you have plenty of ideas, more ideas than you know how to handle, right? And so don't be afraid of starting something. You never know. Even though you might start something and it might not last, it could still provide you with something that is very beneficial. So, again, I think it's ridiculous to not start things because it's a retrograde. If you start something and it gives you something you need, then you should have started it. Plain and simple, even if it doesn't last. The Star is also a card of self-care. I would definitely say moving through April that we really do need to practice more self-care. Just based off the astrology, I think everybody should just spend extra time taking care of themselves. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is a victory or a success. I feel like saying you're right here, Capricorn. So it's almost like you're right about something, and you could be being celebrated because you were right about something that you're doing, and that could be leading to this victory with the Six of Wands. With the Two of Wands, guess what? You have the Two of Wands. Basically, the universe saying I meant what I said, so definitely progress. The Two of Wands is about getting out into the world. He needs to go have experiences and do things that he thinks are fun, just so he can enjoy life, so he can have fun, so he can do something he wants. And I think exploring is a great thing to do right now. With the Star, you have the Page of Cups. I mean, are you kidding? The whole entire reading is about like love. Or there could be someone coming in for you. This could be a person that you see as a star. Like, I'm not saying they're famous, but you really could be attracting a person that you see as extra special, or someone who's really worth being with. So again, if you have an admirer or secret admirer, I think it would be perfectly acceptable to date. Just take your time. You'll be fine. You can't make this one up, by the way. You have this dragon card. It says, beware of self-delusion, the fantasizing, right? I got that energy at the beginning of the reading of fantasizing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to fantasize about anything, but, again, even with your ideas, if we fantasize an idea, it's like sometimes it convinces our brain that we already did it when we didn't, and the fantasy prevents us from having the reality. So I think that's what this card is saying. You have this Flute card. It says disappointment in a friend or a lover. I definitely feel you have had disappointments in love, and that's probably why the reading is saying you need to pick a different type of person than what you normally go for. So if you want love, or if you want, even in friendship as well, make sure you're picking the right people. You have this Ring card. It says a marriage will take place either in romance or business. There you go. So can't make this stuff up here, Capricorn. If you want love, definitely looks like a good reading. Even if you don't, you could be just committing to your Ten of Pentacles in the Star. Ten of Pentacles, the Star, is committing to your big picture. So you could really be committing to your dream, or something you want to create. Can't make this one up either. It says chain. It says chain of events that will affect your life. I literally was talking about the connecting the dots on the Moon card. I look at this as a very similar energy. It's like I feel in some ways that you are starting to connect the dots, which could be giving you confidence. It's like, maybe you feel that you have been lost for a very long period of time. But even if things are still not exactly clear, I think that being able to connect some of the dots and being able to see that you are moving forward could be very motivational for you. And finally, we have this key card. It says successful outcome to your problems. There you go. Love it. If you're dealing with any problems or issues, there clearly could be a successful outcome. But this looks really good, Capricorn. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.